Hi there. Oh, I need to find a better corner. My hair's a mess and the lighting is bad. How are you tonight? My name's Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you? It's Wednesday at 7. Who just joined me? I have a couple people on. How are you? We're doing some black magic tonight. Are you ready for some black magic? Hi, Lise. How are you? I've got 2 on here so far, so comment, say hello. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I've got dinner half on the counter, ready to go. We're doing appetizer dinner tonight, so it's like jalapeno wonton cups, and if Iris is on here, I don't think so, not yet. I'm using her jalapenos for that, so, and doing some bruschetta and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, my mouth is watering. I'm ready for dinner, but I still have virtual marching band going on in the back of the house, so we can't do it yet. She's not done till almost 8, so we're good. So, we're not going to talk about dinner all night. We are going to talk about some black magic. How are you? Oh, and I don't know if you know this. You probably do, Lise, but who's just joined me? Say hello. Hey, Iris. Yep. I was just talking about your jalapenos, hun. I'm doing jalapeno wonton cream cheese, like it's a light version of a popper, basically, because it's not quite as much, not as much cheese and no cream. So, anyways, so that's what's happening tonight for dinner. But anyways, so we're doing some black magic tonight, and I want to remind about the designer series paper sale. We've got some select papers on sale for 15% off. I know, right? My mouth is watering. I'm hungry. So anyways, hey Dan, how are you? Yeah, I know, right? I'm really trying to watch, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a little wiped out tonight because I started back running about a week and a half ago, and the Couch to 5K app is ramping up, and I'm tired. So it's okay though. It's a good kind of tired. So if I look a little washed out, wiped out, whatever, besides it being 7 o'clock at night and I started at 5:30 this morning, it's because my body's tired. So anyways, we're going to put you down real quick and we're going to get to creating and start, instead of talking about dinner and the fact that I want the gym to open and then I'm sore. So it's just what it is. All right, so hold on a second. I'm going to flip you around and do what needs to happen so we can get this thing rolling. So hold on. Flip. Let's hope. Alrighty, and hopefully I have this down now that you don't even have to see all the craziness. Yay! And I'll do a little bit of situating when my phone settles, evidently, and we will get to going. All right, so I'm going to refresh my computer. Look at that, you guys. I'm almost there, right? I mean, come on. That was a good transition, right? So, alrighty, so let's see here. Let's get this to expand for you. And let's see if I missed anybody. I think I'm caught up. My goodness, let's go, huh? So, we are creating something similar to this tonight, and the main focus is going to be this middle flower. We might do the other one just so it looks a little bit different, but hey, you know, in the meantime, that's what we're doing, and we're going to make it a tiny bit different, but for the most part, the same. And the technique will be right there, on point, right? So, without anything else, let's get to what's on the table so that way you know how to do this, okay? So I have the stamp set So Much Love in front of me. And then I've got my Memento, Tuxedo Memento. Hold on, let me start over. my black tuxedo Memento ink for only the sentiment. Okay, I've got my tailored punch, my Versamark, my white embossing powder. My heat tool is behind me. And I've got some champagne rhinestones instead of these are the gold of the red and gold gems out of the mini catalog. Okay, and then I've got some colored pencils. Key here is you need a white color pencil. So if you have to choose between the two sets, there is a watercolor pencil 1 and a watercolor pencil 2. One has a white in it and one does not. So if you have not chosen between the two, this might change your mind. So I've got Daffodil Delight, I've got Melon Mambo, and I've got the Old Olive on my table. As you can tell, I use Old Olive and the white quite a bit. Well, let's get them even, huh? Old Olive, definitely. And then I've got a blender pen. Let's get some dimensions going for you, and then we will get to creating. So I've got a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. The valley side, or the side that goes in, is going to be your outer part of your fold, and your mountain or your bump is on the inside of the card. That goes with the fibers of your card, and that prevents as much cracking. So, all right, so I have got a piece of Granny Apple Green. I've got a piece of Magenta Madness, and you're like, but wait, this was Melon Mambo. Yes, it was Melon Mambo, but it's okay. So I've got a piece of Magenta Madness, and I've got a piece of Basic Black. So the Granny Apple Green is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, I believe. Yep, 5 1/4 by 4. And then the Magenta Madness is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. And finally, bringing up the ranks is the Basic Black, cut at 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, or an inch in from the inside, or from the card base rather. Okay, we're not gluing anything down, and here's why. We need to punch, right? So there we go. We're saving our paper. Okay, so I'm gonna grab here, and I'm not doing a saying on this one, so we might end up not punching depending on how it comes out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna grab these little freckle guys, and we're gonna put those in the corner instead. And then I'm grabbing another block, and let's see, we use that one, so we're gonna use the smaller one. Just to be different, I need a bigger block than that. Hold on, I miscalculated. Ooh, this block needs to be cleaned. I have a little bit of glue on there. So, are we ready? I hope so. Okay, so for this creation, I'm putting everything to the side right at the moment. Okay, and I am grabbing my black because that's all we need for the moment. I'm grabbing, not my bling, I am grabbing my Versamark. Okay, and I'm grabbing my stamps, and I'm not grabbing my punch right now. I am grabbing my embossing tray with my white powder in it. I am unscrewing the lid, so I am ready for this. And first and foremost, we're doing this delightful rose. So anytime the pad is smaller than the stamp, I usually put ink to stamp instead of stamp to the ink. Just a little tip. That way you can see exactly what's going on. All right, so with Versamark, the trick is to be fairly quick because you want that powder on as quickly as you possibly can. All right, and I am grabbing some freckles, for lack of better terms, and I'm just putting them down in the corners there. And we're gonna see what happens. And I'm trying to find a place to put my stamps. My table's a little crowded. So we're gonna put the cap on here. Turn that upside down. We want to turn that upside down so our ink stays upright. Now with all of our other inks, they flip. Don't breathe too heavy when you're doing this. All of our other inks flip automatically, so you won't need to do that. But with our Versamark, our Tuxedo stays on, you do need to flip them upside down. I got a little tiny. If you cannot get your finger in there without rubbing on something else, guess what you do? Grab a paintbrush, a little Q-tip, a makeup sponge, whatever you need, whatever tool you need. Sometimes the piercing tool, take your pick tool, all that kind of stuff will scrape off those little extra powders and you will be ready to go. So now I'm grabbing my heat tool and should be all plugged in, ready to go. Yay! And we're just gonna melt this down. So how's everybody doing? Now that you know what I'm having for dinner, what's on your menu? What are we drinking tonight? Anybody having wine or is it all water? Because we haven't had enough today. I'm actually finishing my 20 ounces and that will be my 100 ounces for today. So I am doing good on my water. One tip for you, I had one of those double insulated, you know, with the metal lid, that kind of thing. And I couldn't see the bottom. So I just assumed I would never be done and I didn't drink that much. I got one with a see-through lid, and because I'm like, oh, it's half done, let me just chug it down. I tend to drink more because I can see. I don't know if that'll help you or not, but it is what it is in my little world. I guess I need to be able to see the bottom to know how much longer I have to go. Always fun. Always something. Barbecue cheese hamburgers. Okay, I am... Ooh, I like Lisa's, what she's... We had tri-tip and sweet potatoes. Alright. You can't drink 100 ounces a day. Well, I didn't think I could either, and here I am. So, it's taken a couple years to get there. So let's see, barbecue cheese hamburgers. Okay. Gotcha. I'll be over in about 20 minutes. Okay. No, I'm teasing. So, yeah, we are doing jalapeno wonton things and... okay. So, anything you want to have color, you need to grab your white pencil. Make sure this is cool. You're going to want to wait a tiny bit longer, and you literally color with your white pencil everywhere that you want color. Okay? So you're going to pull down here, you're going to pull here, you're going to pull here. And you're just going over this kind of quick. Doesn't matter if there's really scribbles, you just want to fill in everywhere. If you miss on the lines, you grab your blender pen afterwards and you just kind of take that away. It's a great technique because there's not a lot you can mess up. Unless you burn the card, then you can't fix that. I promise, I've tried. Let's see. The only other thing I've never been able to fix, if you cut it too short or if you decide to watercolor. And what I mean by that is if you finish your project and then knock over your water glass that doesn't have a lid on it and you decide to watercolor, I can't fix that either other than let the paper dry and come back to it after it, you know, and redo it basically, because most of our inks are water based. So if you give them a bath the paper will curdle and most of your ink will run right off onto the table. Just FYI for you. So whenever you're crafting, you want to keep your liquid, especially if you talk with your hands, you want to keep your liquid away. That's all. So let's see, worst experience. I had one lady glue her hair to the table, and I had another lady that didn't understand that the paper was not supposed to turn brown. It was white when we were embossing. And guess what happened? There were flames coming out of the paper. It was awful. So, all right, so now I'm grabbing my Melon Mambo pencil and I am just going over that white. See how that color is coming out? So this is that black magic. Kind of cool, right? So I am just, and you don't have to worry about going to the lines. You want to make sure you kind of don't go over, but you don't have to worry about going to the lines, and here's why. That blender pen is going to be magical and is going to float everything perfectly and just make it look perfect. I love it. Well, not perfect, but handmade professional. We'll just say it that way, huh? So I am just quick going over. Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know how you stamp necessarily, but for me, I do a lot of cards because I do a lot of thank yous. So if you come to a class or do an order, I'm sending you a card, whether you like it or not. I'm teasing in the sense of whether you like it or not, but you will get a card from me, which translates to I make quite a few, which means my method is usually quick, professional, really cute, but quick, because I do not have a ton of time to put this, you know, I don't have 3 hours to put into a card. So there I am, I'm colored. You're gonna scratch off just to make sure you didn't leave anything on it. And this is where you want to be a tiny bit careful. You don't want to go too much out the lines. And you're saying, you're taking all the color off. Well, I kind of am, but I'm kind of not. In the sense that it'll clean the embossing lines for you, so you won't have to wipe them off after. So that white will still come through. There'll be a tinge of color to it, but you will still see it. And you will see a hint of the black coming through, so you will see that it's not like a punch out. Scratch off to get that green off, and then I'm going to come through and I'm going to touch that pink. So kind of cool concept, right? So I am touching that pink, and then here I am just going over until my scribbles go away, for lack of better terms. And it'll float that color just so pretty. Don't go over that yellow because you want that to be clean and crisp. So you want to make sure you've done all your pink, and then you're going to clean. Okay, I have to be careful here so I don't get that yellow. But you're going to clean off your tip really, really well. And then you're going to come back through and grab that yellow, okay? So we're grabbing here. And you want to keep your resting hand, you know, where my hand is, so I can use the pen. You want to keep that off your cardstock so you don't end up with stuff smeared, because it does take a second to dry after you're completely done. But totally quick, easy. How easy would that be to color ornaments or do something like that? Or if you've got some 8 to 12-year-olds for Thanksgiving dinner, you could stamp a bunch of these and be like, hey, can you color these? You know, give them the pencil, then afterwards just go over. Super easy, right? And I noticed here I've got a couple of outside the line things, so I'm just going to wet it, fix it, and then when it dries, you will not even see it. Awesome, right? I love that we can just fix and go. So, that is that black magic technique. Kind of cool, right? I kind of like those dots in the corners. If you want just an all occasion card, or somebody's like needs just note cards or that kind of thing, look at that. Just perfect. So cool concept. So we're gonna grab our Stampin' Seal. We're gonna get our mats put on here, hopefully halfway straight. Remember, I started running early, so my eyes are not quite seeing, shall we say? So with this technique, you do not want your pencils super sharp. You just want them medium. And I'm trying to like explain. You don't want it where there's barely a nub like this one is showing. You want them more like this when you're coloring. So you have enough area and it's not a tip going through, because that tip is actually going to wear off some of your lines for your embossing powder. So you want kind of in the middle, like that is perfect right there. And see how there's like an angle to that tip, so there's not that point going in. So you really want to make sure that you have just a nice angled slope. That one we'd have to sharpen before we started. So just FYI for you. So there is the finished. I hope you like it. If you do try it, feel free to post on the page. Hey, I tried your black magic. Cool idea, right? So throw a ribbon on there if you want, some bling, all kinds of stuff. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. Feel free to follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com, and have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.